Who are you? Not physically, but mentally. Are you truly present in this moment, or is your mind elsewhere, caught up in regrets about the past or worries about the future? We all do it. You're scrolling through your phone, half watching a show, your thoughts drifting to tomorrow's tasks, or replaying yesterday's conversations. Life moves forward, yet it feels like you're standing still, trapped in a cycle, never fully here. Even when you try to pause, it's like your mind refuses to. You're standing in front of a beautiful sunset, the sky painted in fiery oranges and purples. But instead of soaking it in, you're texting someone about how amazing it is. You're there, but not really. You're seeing life through a screen, filtering the moment through what you think you should feel, or what you think others might think. The silent thief. The real thief isn't time. It's your own mind. I once sat at a family dinner surrounded by laughter and conversation. The food was amazing, the company even better. But instead of soaking it in, I was glued to my phone, answering an email that wasn't urgent. When I finally looked up, the moment had slipped away, like trying to catch sand in your hands. Ever felt that sting of regret? Have you ever been surrounded by friends or family but felt a million miles away because your mind was elsewhere? Life today isn't just loud, it's relentless. Notifications buzz, deadlines creep closer, and expectations pile up. The problem isn't the noise itself, it's how much of ourselves we give to it. Philosopher Eckhart Tolle said, "The present moment is all you ever have." Simple, isn't it? Yet we often live like we're waiting for something, a perfect moment, a future that feels just right. Yet the present keeps slipping away. What if we stopped, turned down the volume of life just enough to hear ourselves think, to notice the laughter, the wind, even the silence, enough to feel alive right now? When were you last truly here? The moments are all around us, but how often do we notice them? Think about the last time you were fully present. No phone, no to-do list, no nagging thoughts, just you in the moment. We live like we're on autopilot, going through the motions, chasing goals we're not sure we even want. Society tells us to work harder, achieve more, be better, but when do we stop to ask, better at what? And for whom? The fragile idea of identity. Strip away the job title, the relationship status, the possessions. Who are you then? Most of us build our identities around things we can lose. We think, I am what I do, or I am who I'm with. But what happens when these things are gone? A layoff, a breakup, and suddenly the foundation cracks? Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself." Maybe who you are isn't about labels or roles. Maybe it's the choices you make when everything else is stripped away. For me, this hits hard when I left a role that had defined me for years. Without the title, I had to ask, what do I value? What do I stand for? It wasn't comfortable, but it was freeing. Think about a time you felt lost, when a relationship ended or a job title disappeared. Without those anchors, who were you? Why control is overrated? You're not in control. You plan, set goals, and work hard, believing life will follow your script. But life doesn't care. A single moment, a phone call, an accident can flip everything upside down. I learned this the hard way when I meticulously planned a trip I dreamt about for years. Every detail was mapped out, the perfect itinerary, the perfect weather forecast. But on the first day, a storm canceled everything. No backup plan, no alternatives, just me sitting in the rain, staring at what was supposed to be my perfect adventure. In that moment, I realized how little control I actually had. And oddly, it was freeing. Without the plan, I ended up wandering the city, stumbling into moments I could never have scheduled. An unexpected cafe with live music, a stranger who told me about their favorite hidden spot. Alan Watts once said, You can't control the tides or the waves, but you can learn to ride them. Maybe life isn't about clinging to control. It's about learning to adapt, to balance when the ground shifts beneath you. It's about flowing with the waves instead of drowning in resistance. The absurdity of productivity. Life is chaotic and, let's be honest, kind of absurd. Think about our obsession with productivity. We devour advice on how to hack our time, only to waste hours watching videos about those hacks. Success is now measured in steps, likes, and notifications. We're hamsters on a wheel that just keeps spinning faster. And those perfect morning routines, wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, drink green juice, journal about our goals. Let's be honest, most mornings you're just scrambling to get out of the door. Maybe the Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard had it right. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Perhaps it's time to stop obsessing over getting everything done and start asking if we're even doing the right things. The stories we tell ourselves. We all have stories, narratives about who we are and what we're capable of. I'm not smart enough. I'll never be happy. Success is for other people. These aren't just thoughts, they're cages. But here's the thing, stories can be rewritten. What if you told yourself a different one? From the moment we're born, expectations pile up. Be the perfect student, the perfect partner, the perfect professional. But whose expectations are these? Do they align with who you are? Or are you living someone else's story? Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Letting go of others' expectations isn't easy, but maybe the heaviest burden isn't those expectations. It's the belief that you have to carry them at all. The burden of comparison. Comparison is the architect of dissatisfaction. You're scrolling through a feed of vacation photos, promotions, and perfectly curated lives, wondering why yours feels less exciting. Social media feeds us curated perfection, smiling faces, achievements, milestones. But behind these scenes are late nights, failures, and self-doubt that we never see. And yet, we measure our worth against these illusions. We chase goals handed to us by others, unsure if they even matter to us, weighed down by invisible expectations to achieve more, be better, and have it all. But whose standards are we chasing? Lao Tzu once said, "When you're content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you." Imagine the freedom of asking, "What truly matters to me?" instead of, "Am I enough compared to them?" The search for purpose. Everyone's chasing it, purpose. But what does it even mean? Is it a career, a passion, a calling? For years, I thought purpose had to be something grand. I'd tell myself, one day I'll figure it all out. But that day never seemed to come. The more I searched, the more it felt like chasing smoke, grasping for something I couldn't quite hold. Then, one evening, something shifted. I was sitting with a close friend, sharing stories, laughing about nothing in particular. There was no aha moment, no epiphany, just a quiet feeling of connection and contentment. That's when it hit me. Maybe purpose isn't something grand or life-changing. Maybe it's hidden in these small, fleeting moments that make us feel alive. The ancient Greeks had two ideas of happiness: hedonia, pleasure and comfort, and eudaimonia, a deeper fulfillment that comes from meaning. Purpose isn't always some grand destination. It's the tiny, conscious choices that bring meaning to your day. So, when was the last time you looked at your life, not for what it's missing, but for what it already holds? The beauty of uncertainty. Life isn't a polished painting. It's more like an unfinished sketch, messy, raw, and full of potential. The Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi finds beauty in imperfection. What if we saw our lives the same way? Not as projects to perfect, but as moments to embrace, flawed, unpolished, and real. Rainer Maria Rilke said it best: "Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves." What if, instead of racing for answers, you allowed yourself to sit in the questions? Try noticing the questions that linger in your mind today without rushing to solve them. So, where are you? Are you here, in this moment, or is your mind already wandering to what's next? Life doesn't wait. The present is fleeting, but it's also yours if you're brave enough to take it. When you stop running, stop chasing, and just be, life starts to feel real. The colors get brighter, the sounds sharper, the feelings deeper. What if, just for today, you paused, really paused, and asked yourself, where am I right now?